So this is a tough topic because I'm sure a lot of people have different experiences with this, different feelings about it. But the other night I was watching a panel live stream and they came on the topic of loneliness, especially about male loneliness. And I thought to myself, have I ever really felt like loneliness or alone, things of that nature? And I thought about, what? Like the times that I actually felt like alone or some type of loneliness was when I was actually depending or thinking about other people, like expecting somebody else to do something for me. For my whole life, I've always been very independent, pioneering, trying to figure out how to do things. And I do think a big part of this that plays a role is about your personality type. For instance, I know that with my parents, my dad, for instance, he is very extroverted and he would not do well being alone for a long period of time. He needs interaction, he needs people. That's probably why like a lot of the businesses that he started, he started them the way that he did, where it involves a lot of different people and interaction, stuff like that. Or on the other hand, where I probably get this from is from my mom, who can be alone, heavy into accounting and human resources, and that aspect of it where she can be I can not speak to her for a week and she'll be perfectly fine, and and with that's probably where my personality type comes from. And even in the last few years I've had to break out of that a little bit. But just the whole thought of when it comes to loneliness and why maybe me in particular, I've never really dealt with that except for when I put my dependence or trust in someone else doing what they said that they were going to do, regardless of how big or how small it is. And that's why the way that I've ended up structuring myself, my life, is that I don't have to depend on other people to get done what I need done, right? I love giving people opportunities, but you can't control other people as well as you can control a robot, you know. But that's the topic for today. I want to broach on the topic of being alone, loneliness, being lonely, not like from my perspective, right? Because I am not a therapist or psychologist or a mental health person. I am just somebody who is in tech and who just works, right? And I think for me, the work that I do helps me not to deal with these type of problems that a lot of men may say that they're going through, feeling lonely even if they're married and in relationships and have kids and all this type of stuff, right? So that's the topic for today. Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by your truly tech coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win, always and forever. Engineered to win. Like I said in this video, we're going to be talking about how me in particular, I've avoided, not really had to deal with the sense of being lonely. I've been alone for a long time, you know, and I've never really felt that sense of, oh, I'm so sad, I'm lonely, I don't have anybody. Um, so that's the plan for today. Let's get to it. So like I was saying, I heard on the panel, they were talking about loneliness and male loneliness, and it was a video they were reviewing where a group of guys, they got together at some state, and they were having talking together and hugging and stuff like that. And for me in particular, I and it might be my personality type. I don't like to be in big groups of people. That's probably why I don't go to all these like super packed conferences and stuff like that. But I just don't like being in these large groups of people traveling to, whatever. I I embed in my work, whatever that work is. you see how often we have new videos here, how we get new ideas, and I bring people along for the ride, for the journey, whoever that person is. People jump on at different times, people jump off at different times, but my goal, my journey stays the same. And as we are on that road, I continue to learn new strategies, new aspects. If we think about our most recent project, and I'm really, really proud of this project, is we're building out this urban dictionary of economic data, where just recently we implemented the ability to have AI give us custom examples for different job roles and how an economic indicator could be related to them. And we were able to use it on a live stream, and it was very interactive, very fun. And just these ideas that just come over time. And I've been able to learn so much about economic stuff, about React, about using integrating AI into applications, all this type of stuff, right? And so for me, it's like I don't I don't have the time to actually feel lonely or alone. And if I was to, it's probably for a split moment in time, and then I move on because I'm like, well, I could be stuck feeling this particular way, or I could actually get back to work because I have a long backlog. If you look at my agile, like my Jira board, if you look at my Trello board, and like, and not even including my personal things to do for general life, like around the house and stuff that needs to get done. It's a long, long list. So I don't afford my time. I don't afford time to sit and wonder and think about, oh, what's going on here, what's going on there. There are some people that, like, I'm telling you, one of my greatest friends, I hadn't spoken to them in months, and they had hit me up the other day, and they were like, "Hey, how you doing? I want to make an official request to schedule some time so our families can get together and we can hang out and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, let's make it happen," um, because I haven't seen them in a long time, and but it's not like that I didn't want to see them, but I was so busy figuring out what's the next thing to learn. Like every single, like, just the other day, we had an incident at work with a technology for queuing, using like Rabbit servers, which we're going to do a presentation about that very, very soon, because I need to learn that and get much better at it so I can better support whatever's happening. But I was like, man, I never I've been hearing about Rabbit and SQS and stuff like that for since pretty much 2018, and I never actually took the time to get a better understanding. I mean, I've logged into it and all that type of stuff, and I never really spent the time to get a much better understanding of how it works. But you know what? That's going to be a presentation. That's probably going to be a live stream where we set it up and stuff like that. And the reason I share that is because I am so busy with figuring things out, pioneering. I don't even like to call myself, which I may be, I may not be, I don't know, but I don't like to call myself a leader, because being a leader, it means that I need to gather a group of people, even if it's one person, and bring them along and stuff like that. And for me, I don't like to be slowed down. I don't have patience like that, to be honest with you. So I like to go forward and, like, all right, this is where I'm at. Come on, catch up. Come and catch up. Come and catch up. I don't want you to be left behind, but you will be, and that's because I have to go forward. I cannot go backwards, you know. And to tie it back to the whole lonely and loneliness and being alone type thing, I am embedded in my work. And like that work, to be honest with you, the work keeps me company. Always researching, always figuring out. So I created an AI album, right? Coming out on Christmas at midnight. And and it's going to be on all the platforms. And the reason that I decided to do it is because it was something new. And I'm like, all right, let's push forward. Has somebody else done it? Yes, they have. How did they do it? Learning from that. I reached out to one of my friends from a long time ago, and I was like, "Do you know about like distribution? Oh yeah, use this software." I'm like, "Oh, let me give it a try." Signed up for it right on the spot, and everything is ready to go. So it's for me, it's learning how to push forward, not not being in a position to be like stuck in my thoughts and stuff like that. Because to me at least, like I said, not a therapist, not a psychologist, nothing like that. Just somebody who works. I am just somebody who works. I am somebody who works all the time. And I'm like, well, what can we do? When we like next week, we're going to be doing a I'm going to be doing a review of all the things that we've done in 2025 or in 2024. I'm already in 2025 because you know me, I don't like to look back, but we have to look back. We have to celebrate all the things that we got done. And I'm going to be looking back at 2024, all the things that we did, apps into the app stores, building different applications, Terraform, all that type of stuff. We're going to be looking at that. And it's a for me it's a significant win of wow, you produced all this stuff that you can share with people, teach people, add value to people. And because I didn't have time to sit and look around, how do I feel about this, how do I feel about that? So I think that for me, I always cared more about doing something instead of just being whatever that actually means, right? I mean, I've heard people use that term. I don't know what that means, but I care about doing. I care about moving. I care about learning. A quick example is when I started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu back in 2020, June of 2020. To be specific, I think it was June 3rd, 2020. It was a week after they opened up after the pandemic. And I had no idea what I was doing. I would have never believed even 3 months before that I would be taking a class. And now, 4.5 years later, I've learned so much. Competed. Never would have thought I would have been competing. Major competitions and stuff like that. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, as they said from the movie Friday. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I never really got hung up on that, on winning or losing, and because for me, that's not the victory. The victory is actually being able to get onto like going through training camp, getting onto the mat, getting like actually driving up or flying to I never flew into a competition, but driving to wherever the competition is at, getting warmed up, getting on the mat, the referee saying go, and you go at it for whatever the time frame is, right? And if you win, you move on. Maybe you make it to the podium, maybe you don't, whatever, right? As soon as it's done, I'm looking forward to what's the next mission to accomplish. What is the next task that we're taking on? Always cared more about doing than about just being, right? So that's for me. I block out all the noise because I personally I am always proud and confident, even as the hat says, cocky about the work that I do and the results that I get from it. I like when I'm working on these different when I'm working on these different applications and I might be totally lost. And sometimes you're like, well, you know what? It's the end of the show. We'll pick it up next week. Or sometimes at the last minute, we drain a three and we figure it out. Sometimes we go into overtime and we figure it out. And it's like, wow, this is pretty cool. We figured it out. It's working. And I celebrate that. I think a lot of people don't celebrate themselves enough. And it goes back into looking at other people, depending on other people to give you whatever that sense is that you're looking for from them instead of from you. I'm very like, I celebrate my wins because if you don't celebrate yourself, you don't know if anybody else will. And you have to, and that's why for me, I find what is important to me, not what is important to other people. I The first thing for me to add value to other people's lives is is does this thing add value to my life? And if it adds value to my life, then the first way of adding value to other people's life is accomplished because it's adding value to me. And now hopefully it'll add value to everyone else, right? But if it doesn't, it still helped me and it made me better in whatever it is that I'm doing. The to go back to the economic dictionary, just doing those Saturday morning shows, now just going over the same information over and over and over again, looking at the data. The first time that we did it, I didn't really understand. We did a lot of research to try to figure it out. And now, 6 months ish into it, a lot of the things they're clicking with me, going to them, some of them week to week, some of them month to month, some of them a couple of times a month, and it's making a lot more sense. And we ended up building a whole application to support that, where we could actually make that available to the public to use and consume as well. And then to do that, it takes us into more of DevOps stuff, cloud computing, cloud engineering type things, using infrastructure as code. We spent a whole year working on infrastructure as code before we moved on to DevOps on our Sunday shows. Now we're looking into, okay, what about how can we offer authentication and stuff like that for user management? So many different things that come up with just by pushing forward and learning new things, trying to do. So, and like I said earlier, like it might be heavily based on personality types. Because I know for me, when I'm in a big crowd and I have to, socialize and perform and stuff like that, after I'm done with that, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But I could be working on writing code, building stuff, learning new technologies, creating presentations for hours and not even notice it. So I do think a heavy part of it is based on personality type. And here's the reason that, like, I'm going to give you a little story, right? Not too much detail, but little story. I got blamed for this because I honestly I believe I got blamed for the type of person that I am versus the type of person that the person who blamed me wanted me to be to benefit them. So earlier this year, right? Somebody wanted to meet with me. Somebody who was relative, like they're close to the family based on relation and not on character. That's very better for like a better term, right? And for so long, they were trying to recruit people to support their vision and dreams and goals and stuff like that. But the problem is, for lack of a better term, their dreams and visions sucked. Right? To me, it was stupid. It was trash. And I'm like, you can do like you can do what you. I mean, I didn't tell them. I mean, I told them that, but regardless, not the point. I'm just being honest, right? I was like, well, this is not really my thing. It's not really my thing. Do what you want. Go and if other people want to follow you, I'm not doing this. And and I heard in other conversations with people, it's like, oh, it's my fault. It's Ralph's fault because if if he was to buy into it, then a whole bunch of other people would buy into it as well. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't have that type of power over people. I just share my insight and my perspective. I share my logic, and I let people make. I don't tell anybody what to do unless I'm coaching them, and I'm like, all right. you're falling behind. You need to do this, and this, right? But if I'm not coaching you, I don't have any control or affinity or whatever. I'm like, look, I'm not doing this. My family's not doing this. If you guys want to do it, be careful, but go ahead and do it. Do what you want. Like it's not me, right? And people ask for the proper information and they don't want to do it, and then they feel salty about because I do my own thing. I go my own way. One of the songs coming out on the album is called "I'm a Lone Wolf." I am a lone wolf, and those who want to, you know, work with me, be in my pack, I'm open. I'm very welcoming, but it is my pack. I don't just join other people's pack because it's gonna make them feel good. And for that story, fast forward now, it is the I was let's put it like this. I was right. I was right. You know. So, but they like people will blame you, like because they have bad ideas, bad plans, no business plan. They're basically trying to scam people, and they want you to help scam them. They'll blame you for not jumping aboard their endeavors, and I'm like, what? I'm me, right? I'm me. Like but that's a funny thing, right? People looking for to build a community, and I'm like, the way you're gonna build it is not by depending on other people. The same way that I don't depend on other people, I don't think other people should depend on other people, right? That's just me. That's just me, right? So that goes to it doesn't matter what other people think. When people say stuff about me, I laugh at it because guess what? I'm proud, I'm confident, I'm cocky. I do my own thing. So you think I'm doing good? Thank you. You think that I'm terrible? Thank you. I appreciate you thinking about me. You don't think anything about me? Thank you. One of my favorite lines from a book, The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. This it's like they asked this architect, right? Like this guy's supposed to be pretty popular. Everyone wants his opinion. He's like an architectural reviewer and something like that. They say he asked the architect, "What do you think about me?" And the architect responds, "I don't think about you." And that's how like for me, I'm cool either way. I don't feel a sense of loneliness. I don't feel like if I'm in a group, cool. If I'm by myself, cool. Because I have work to do. On your way up, on your way up, they will call you confident. Like when you're growing and you're winning, they're gonna call you confident. At some point, though, at some point, things are going to change, and you might not even know when those things actually change. But they're gonna say that you're arrogant. Guess what? Who cares? Who cares? What what's the difference between being confident and being arrogant? I'll tell you exactly what it is. I've heard different answers, right? The difference is both of them are based on what other people think about you. And for me, I just work. I don't put much weight in what other people think about me as long as I know that I'm hitting my goals. Does that mean I don't take what other people say, like their insight and consideration? No. Like when we were building out the app, I had a lot of input from different people on what like how to make it look, what features to add and stuff like that. But people might say, "Oh, I don't like this." I'm like, "Okay, cool, thanks. You have something better?" No? Okay, cool. Well, once we figure out something better, then we'll make that happen. But until then, I'm good. So for me, like I personally, like, and I say I'm speaking solely for myself, right? I don't need that sense of belonging from other people. I create it for myself by when I see my work out there, when I see the effort that I put on the mat, when I see my like the work that I do at work being used and adding value, like at the end of the day, I, my goal is to always add value. And that starts with adding value to myself and then finding a way to have it benefit other people. And it's not based on how they feel about it. It's based on what is it actually doing out there in the world. So for me, I build my community based on the work that I do and the value that it brings. If I was to work more with other people, it would be probably get a lot more done. It would be very helpful. But here's a problem, right? When you actually depend on people to do something and then they don't do it, guess what? Now it falls on you and the work doesn't stop. So you have to figure that out. So and that's for me like why I'm always a pioneer. Why I'm always trying to figure out how to do things, how to move so that I can, if not build a grand masterpiece, at least build a path to that grand masterpiece and, share some insight, give the ability for maybe somebody to build that masterpiece on the road that was discovered and paved, right? For me, at least. I think that for me being alone, it just proves how powerful and strong your mind really is by all the things that it can discover. Those are my thoughts. Like I said, it's probably not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, nothing like that. I'm just somebody who, since I was a kid, I've been working, figuring things out, and being excited on all the discoveries that I was able to make by just trying and doing. All right. Anyways, that's my thoughts on this whole thing about like being alone, being lonely, having that sense, that feeling of loneliness. I just I just do me. At the end of the day, I just do me, and I just go from there. Right. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, it's everybody's different, and everybody it could be personality types, it could be life experiences. But for me, I mean, it could definitely be my life experiences that have made me like see things this way. But for me, it actually works. It actually works. Some people might disagree that it works, but um, by looking back on all the stuff that I've done for my life, and just looking at back at the things I've done in the past year compared, like I think I've done more in the past year than I've done in maybe like the past 10 years, with the amount of work we've been able to produce, and sharing that information with everybody else. So really, really cool stuff. But I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Candid Conversations. Do me a favor on your way out. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Am I off on this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Share your perspective and we can talk about that. If you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want to level up, check out techcoachdrive.dev. Tons of exclusive content, ability for one-on-one coaching, and we can run it up together. But with that being said, I am out of here, Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, I was an animal like I was born to be, running through the city in the dark when the wild ones come looking for diamond bone dog. Well, I got more now than you came. I was on fire, I was dying to burn it down. See ya, I gotta see ya. I was a little girl once, I'm not anymore. Only a loser in this world could understand me. Nothing, absolutely every bad thing you heard about me is true. They say that people don't really change. They say that everything is the same. Pardon my intrusion, I don't mean to be rude. I do my own thing. You can be my man, just don't be a dumbass. I'm a lone wolf, always was. Came here to learn from someone I thought I already knew. Don't weigh me down, I don't wanna be stuck in the pack. You can be my man, just don't be a dumbass. I'm a lone wolf, always was. Don't weigh me down, I'm not here to feed your heart, I'm here to burn it. Well, I already told you, I do my own thing. Don't blame me, don't. You can be my man. Don't be a dumbass, I'm a lone wolf, always was. Came here to learn from someone I thought I already knew. Don't weigh me down, I don't wanna be stuck in the pack. You can be my man, just don't be a dumbass, I'm a lone wolf, always was. Don't weigh me down, I don't wanna be stuck in the pack. Don't weigh me down, I don't wanna be stuck in the pack. Don't weigh me down, I don't wanna be stuck in the pack. Autumn feels like everything's green. Ooh, real life. Maybe from someone else's view. Yeah.